For question number 1, you have to use the circumference formula, which is 2 pi r. And then you have to use this information, radius is increased by 1 cm. And also you have to find the total circumference of the first 3 circles, which is 120 pi. This is the first circumference, this is second, and then this is the third one. If you add everything, you will get 120 pi. You divide all the terms by 2 pi, so 2 pi r divided by 2 pi gives you r. Divide by 2 pi, you cancel. You divide by 2 pi, you cancel, you get only r plus 2. Divide by 2 pi, you get 60. R plus r, 3r. 1 plus 2 is 3. Bring over 60 minus 3, 57. And then divide by 3, so answer is 19. If you write 2 pi r plus 1, and then 2 pi r plus 2, you get 1 mark there. If you write equals to 120 pi, you get another 1 mark there. And the final answer will be 1 mark. Total 3 marks. For question number 2, if you list everything, you have 7 zeros, 9 ones, and then imagine the last one is your median, so you have 15 numbers before, and then you have to have another 15 numbers after. So in order to get the value of x, so 15 minus 3 gives you 12. So the answer for the maximum value of x will be 12. It's only 1 mark question. For the second part, to find the value of x when the mean equals to 1, just apply the formula of mean, 0 times 7 plus 1 times 9 plus 2 times 3 plus 3 times x over the total numbers, which is 7 plus 9 plus 3 plus x equals to 1. Cross multiply, simplify, bring over, subtract, and divide. So the answer is 2. If you write this, you get 1 mark. And the final answer will be 1 mark. For question number 3, first you have to change the base. You have log base xy, you change to base 4. So when you change the base, you write 4 above, xy below. This one just the same thing, but I bring 3 above y, so I have log 4 y cubed. And then here I cross multiply, times 2 times log base 4 xy, I write here. And here log 4 equals to 1. And then this one cross multiply. Next step, I bring 2 above this term, so I'm going to square both x and y, which gives me x squared, y squared. If you look at this, you have both sides have log base 4 and log base 4. You can sort of cancel the log, and then you only take y cubed equals to x squared, y squared. You bring over y squared, and then you simplify. So the answer is y equals to x squared. You get 1 mark here when you change the base. And then you get 1 mark here when you eliminate your log. And final answer will be 1 mark. For question number 4, first you list all the a, b, and c coordinates. You find the gradient of point AB, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you will get 1 over 2. Because this information, it says perpendicular, so you got to use m1 times m2 gives you negative 1. This symbol is a perpendicular symbol, so I'm writing m perpendicular. So you find m perpendicular, which is negative 1 over 1 over 2, or you can simply cross multiply, which gives you negative 2. And finally, you have to use this point as the C point because it says passes through heart C. So this is x1 and y1. Using this formula, y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. You substitute in the values, and then you just simplify, and then you will get your final answer. You get 1 mark if you find the gradient of AB. You get another mark when you find the gradient of the perpendicular. And you substitute here, and then you get the final mark for the final answer. Question number 5. The temperature can be measured using degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. Okay, first thing, if you look at this term, this is y degree Celsius, and this is also something degree Celsius. The first step is to equate y equals to this term. So we're going to write y equals to 9x over 5 plus 32. And then you have to find x in terms of y. You bring over 32 to the other side, you have minus. And then if you cross multiply, you have 5 times, and then bracket y minus 32, and then divide by 9. So this is x in terms of y. Now if you write the efficiency of that machine, in x term, you have 3 over 10x plus 4, which is this. Now if you change to y, so now the efficiency in terms of y, you write ey. This x, which is from here, you have to substitute back into this equation. So you have 10 times 5 over 9, bracket y minus 32, close bracket, and then plus 4. In order to simplify this fraction, you have to times 9 on both denominator and numerator because you want to simplify the fraction. So you times 9, you will cancel this, and then you times 9, you get 36. 3 times 9 gives you 27. Now there's no more fraction. You simplify, so this is the final answer. So the 3 marks come from here. If you write this, you get 1 mark. If you write this, when you substitute into your x, you get another mark here, 1 mark here. And the final answer will be 1 mark. Question number 6. First, you have to use this information. Given that the horizontal distance from the launching point and the height of the rocket from the ground level are x and y respectively, so you have to label this as x and this is your y. Now, if you look at this curve, if you consider this is the Cartesian plane of your coordinates, so this is 0, 0. The second point will be here, 3.5, because it's half from your 7. Because it says it's a maximum, so 3.52 because of the height. And then this is the other root, which is 7, 0. So if you write y using general form, you have y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, if you use the first point, 0, 0, you substitute here. Y equals to 0, x equals to 0, x equals to 0. You will get your c, which is 0. Now, the c already is 0. We're going to find a and b value. If you use 7, 0, you substitute into the equation. Your x equals to 7, and then your y will be 0. You will get this expression, which is b equals to negative 7a. And if you use the last point, which is 3.52, you substitute into your equation, you will get a, and then your x squared and so on, you substitute in, you get a equals to negative 8 over 49, and then you substitute back into this to get your b. So, and then final answer will be, you have to use a and b value, substitute back into your general form. So that's the final answer. The 3 marks come from here. If you find b in terms of a, you get 1 mark here. And then if you have either one of these, you get a or b, I'll give you 1 mark. And also the final answer will be 1 mark. 3 marks altogether. Now, this is question number 7. For question number 7, this is geometric progression chapter. Your first term will be 100 meters, your second term will be 40 meters, and your third term will be 16 meters. So if you label A, T2, D3, so this is your sequence. And then you have to find the common ratio, which is you have to divide the second term divided by first term, you will get 0.4. And then you find the S infinity, because you have to find the sum of all these distance. So when you find S infinity, you will get this value, 168.67. So finally, because this total distance is less than the distance between Muhaimin and then the landslide, so between Muhaimin's car and the landslide, the distance is 170. So since it's less than 170, so Muhaimin will not crash into the landslide. So you get 1 mark if you find your R. You get another mark when you find your S infinity. And making conclusion that Muhaimin will not crash into the landslide will give you 1 more mark. Okay, question number 8. This is trigonometric function equation. First, if you redraw your triangles, if you draw the bigger triangles, you can have theta plus theta will give you 2 theta, and then the heights will be h. The opposite will be h. The adjacent will be p plus q. And then if you consider small triangle, you have opposite p, adjacent q. So using SOHCAHTOA, so we're going to apply tangent property. This is from the formula. If you look at the formula, you have, so formula number 11, you have 2 tangent 2 theta equals to 2 tangent theta over 1 minus tangent square theta. We're going to use this formula. So you substitute in the value, tangent 2 theta, you have to use the bigger triangle, opposite over adjacent, which is h over p plus q. And then 2 tangent theta will be this value, tangent theta will be opposite over adjacent, which is p over q. Same thing here, which is if you square p over q gives you p square over q square. So this step is very important because you want to simplify your fraction. You have to times both denominator and numerator with q squared because you want to remove your fraction. We don't want to get any fraction here. So when you times this to 2p over q times q square, you cancel one of the q, you got 2pq. 1 times q square gives you q square. P square over q square times q square will give you p square. And then you cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you can factorize the denominator. Factorize this two will give you q minus p, q plus p, because if you times q gives you q square. P times negative p will give you negative p square. So these two terms, they are equal because p plus q is equal to q plus p. So you can cancel these two. And then this is the final answer. So you get 1 mark if you write this value. And then if you equate this value, if you find this value, you'll get 1 mark here. And the final answer will be 1 mark. Question number 9. This is about vectors. So this is A vector, B vector, and C vector. Using this information, it says the sum of all momentum vectors is equal to 0 vector. If you add a vector plus b plus c will give you 0. You substitute in the value of your vector, which is negative 4i plus 2j, and then negative 2i minus 3j, and then plus c equals 0. You simplify, negative 4 minus 2 gives you negative 6i. When you bring over, becomes positive 6i. 2j minus 3j gives you negative j, but when you bring over, becomes j. Now you find the magnitude, because the question asks you to find the magnitude. So you have to use the modulus. So you square these two and then you add. So square root 6 square plus 1 square will give you this value. If you write this, you get 1 mark here. If you find the modulus, you find here, so you get 1 mark, and then the final answer will be 1 mark. Okay, this is question number 10. First, you have to simplify your fraction. You have y equals to 2x power 6 over x cubed. If you cancel the x, you will get 2x cubed. Now, the 7 over x power 3 will be 7x to the power of negative 3 because you bring x cubed up, so you have power negative. Now, finding dy by dx, using the concept of differentiation, you bring power down, power minus 1. You times 2 times 3 gives you 6. 3 minus 1 gives you 2. And then you do the same thing here. You bring power down, power minus 1. So 7 times negative 3, and then x to the power of negative 4. Now, if you simplify, you have 6x squared minus 21x power negative 4. Now, comparing this with the one given in the question, which is ax squared plus bx power c. So now you can see clearly that your a equals to your a equals to 6, your b equals to negative 21, your c equals to negative 4. So you only get 1 mark for every a, b, and c value. So a equals to 6, 1 mark, b equals to negative 21, 1 mark, and c equals to negative 4, 1 mark. Okay, now look at question number 11. So this is still under differentiation topic. So you have to read the question carefully. The height is 3 times radius, so you're going to write h equals to 3r. So now you have to use this formula, v equals to 1 over 3 pi r square h. So you have to find dv by dh, but first you have to substitute this value first into here. So because you have r here, so r will be h over 3, substitute here. And then you open the bracket square, so you have h square over 3 square gives you 9, 9 times 3, 27. So now you find dv by dh, bring power down, power minus 1 gives you 3 over 27 pi r h square. So now you simplify 1 over 9, and then substitute the h, which is h equals to 6 cm here. So if you simplify, 36 over 9 gives you 4 pi. Now, if you find delta h, the small change in your height is final minus initial. This is the final value, which is 6.35. And this is your initial value, which is 6 cm. So minus these two, you'll give you 0.35. And then this is the formula that you need to use. The delta v over delta h approximately equals to dv by dh. So substitute dv by dh here, which is equal to 4 pi, and then you cross multiply, which is 0.35 times at the end. So the final answer will be 7 over 5 pi, or 1.4 pi. So where do you get your mark? You get your mark if you simplify here, and then if you find dv by dh, you get 1 mark there, and then final answer will be 1 mark. Okay, now this is question number 13. This is about circular measure. First, you have to read the question carefully. It says PQ and QR are the tangent to the circle. Any tangent passing through a circle will make a 90 degree at the intersection point. So this angle will be 90 degrees. So you can extract this triangle. I'm dividing this into half. So I have alpha over 2 because it's half of your triangle. And then because it says OP equals to 17, so we're going to label this as 17 cm, and OQ equals to 8 cm. Now applying SOHCAHTOA, we're going to use COS because this is adjacent and this is hypotenuse. So using cos alpha over 2 equals to 8 over 17, you press shift cos. But be careful, you must have your calculator in radian mode. And then you find your alpha over 2, which is 1.081. You bring over 2, you times 2, and then this is the final answer. So the 3 marks come from here, 1 mark. When you shift cos, and the final answer, 1 mark. This is question number 14. First, you're gonna let 3 power p equals to 5 power q, 5 equals to 15 power r equals to k. So all of this term equals to k. If you take 3 power p equals to k, you bring over p to the other side, so you have 1 over p. Same thing here, if you move your q to the other side, you'll have 5 equals to k to the power of 1 over q. So now you take this 15 power r equals to k. 15 equals to 3 times 5. Now you take this one, k power 1 over p, substitute here. You take 5, which is k power 1 over q, substitute here. So this two will be, when you have k power 1 over p times k power 1 over q, you times both, you're going to plus the power. And then to the power of r, and then this one is k power 1. So you sort of ignore your k, and then you only take the powers. So you simplify this fraction, you times q, you times p, and then you make your denominator the same. You cross multiply, you get your final answer. So there are 3 marks for this. The first one you get when you equate this term, which is equals to k. The second mark when you substitute in, and then you use this, you get 1 mark, and the final answer will be 1 mark. Okay, this is question number 15. This is linear law chapter. First, you find the gradient. So y2 minus 1 over x2 minus x1. So 3 minus negative 2 over 2 minus 1 will give you 5. Using capital Y equals to m capital X plus C, and using one of the points, I'm using 2, 3. You can use 1, negative 2 if you want. I'm going to find the C, the y-intercept. So I substitute y equals to 3. The x will be 2 and the m will be 5. So I get my C, which is negative 7. And then I substitute back into this. So this capital Y should be taken from your vertical axis, which is xy. So this is your capital Y axis, and this is your capital X axis. So you're going to substitute into your equation. You'll have xy equals to 5 times 1 over x, and then minus 7 because your C is negative 7. The question asks you to express y in terms of x. We only want y, so we don't want to get x yet. So you times all by 1 over x. So you will get y equals to 5 over x squared minus 7 over x. So if you find the gradient, you get 1 mark. And if you express this equation, you get 1 mark here. And the final answer will be 1 mark. Question number 16 is very easy. So the probability that Azim qualifies for the final of maths competition is 0.6. If you want to get both of them qualify for the final, so both must be qualified. So Azim qualified 0.6. Akil qualifies 0.3. You times both, you get 1 mark here, 0.18. Okay, if you want to answer the second part, only one of them qualifies for the final. So if you consider Azim qualified, so Akil will not be qualified, or Azim not qualified, Akil will be qualified. So Azim qualified 0.6, Akil not qualified, 1 minus 0.3, 0.7, or will be plus. Azim not qualified, which is 1 minus 0.6, 0.4. Akil qualifies 0.3. So the final answer will be 0.54. If you write this, you get 1 mark here, and the final answer will be 1 mark. Okay, question number 17 is probability distribution under binomial distribution. 20% will be your P, 0.2. Your N will be 8, number of trials. The Q, 1 minus 0.2 will give you 0.8. For the first part, find the probability that exactly 6 rotten apples are chosen. So you're going to write P bracket X equals to 6. So 8C6 times 0.2 to the power of 6 times 0.8 square. Just use the formula and then you get this answer. So this is 1 mark. Now, if you find the probability that you're getting not more than 2 rotten apples are chosen, so your R will be 0, 1, or 2. Not more than 2, so 2 should be included. So if you find Px equals 0 plus Px equals 1 plus Px equals 2, you substitute into the formulas, and then you get the final answer. So if you write all of this, you get 1 mark. And then the final answer will be 1 mark. So 3 marks altogether. This is question number 18. This is under normal distribution. The shaded region area is given by 0.7922. If you find this area, you'll get 0.2078. So you're going to find this value from your table. So this is the value that you need to, the table that you need to refer to. So if you refer to the table, so from 0.8, you will get 0.2090. You're going to minus 11 to get closer to your 0.2078. So the final answer will be k equals to negative. Don't forget to put negative because your k is on the left side of your 0 mark. So anything to the left side will be negative. So this is final answer, which is 1 mark. Okay, now to solve question B, you have to use this formula z equals to x minus mu over sigma. But be careful, your sigma will be in red. This is variance. Your sigma is standard deviation. You got to square root that 16. So if you use this formula, you substitute in the values. You take this one, substitute here, and then should be square root here, and then you cross multiply, and then you plus 66. It will give you the final answer. So 1 mark here, and the final answer is also 1 mark. Okay, question number 19 is about coordinate geometry under division of line of segment formula. If you draw your diagram, your Q should be in the center, your K and L on the side, so and then just label everything and then use cross method. You write Q negative 4, 8 outside. If you cross multiply using X coordinate, so n times negative 8 will be here, and then plus 2 times m will be here, and then over m plus n. And then you do the other side for the y coordinates, you get this term. So now if you consider one of the coordinates, either x coordinate or y coordinate, doesn't matter, both will give you the same answer. If you take x coordinate, we will have this one equate, so equate negative 4 equals to this one. So you write this, and then you cross multiply, you bring over, then you divide, because you divide 4 divided by 6, so the final answer will be 2 ratio 2 to 3. So this is 3 marks question. If you write this formula, you get 1 mark here. And then if you equate one of the coordinates, one of them, so you get 1 mark, and the final answer will be 1 mark. Question number 20 is very easy. If you label your 2 up here, the middle value will be 1, and then your negative 3 over here, and then this negative 2 at the end should be labeled here. So this is your maximum point. So to find the value of k, it simply equals to 1 from this value, which is k equals to 1, so k equals to 1. The axis of symmetry that divides into half, so the answer will be x equals to 1. And then the coordinates of the maximum point will be 1, negative 2. So this is all the final answer marks. So you get 1 mark for each answer. So 1 mark here, 1 mark here, and final answer is also 1 mark. Question number 21 is quite interesting because you need to use completing the square on the general form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0 to prove the quadratic formula, that the first formula that you learn in that maths, which is x equals to negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. The first thing is to move over your c to the other side, you get negative there. Factorize a, you pull out a, and then you bring over this to the other side, divide by a, and then you apply the completing the square method, which is plus b over 2 square. Your b now is b over a. You divide by 2, you get b over 2a, and then 1 plus 1 minus, both are squared. And then you can factorize the first 3 terms here. When you factorize the first 3 terms here, the shortcut is just to drag your x here, and just drag b over 2a there. So, and then you bring over this term to the other side, becomes positive, b square over 4a square, and then make your denominator the same. You times 4a here, and then times 4a there as well, and then make your denominator the same. You get this term, and then bring over the square, becomes square root. You square root 4a square gives you 2a, and then you bring over this term, you get negative, and then you get the final answer. If you write this, you get 1 mark. If you start doing your completing the square method, you get 1 mark there. You bring over the square root, you get 1 mark, and the final answer will be 1 mark. So this is 4 marks question.
Okay, question number 22 is a bit difficult. This is under statistics. You are given 5 messes: Sofia, Zayana, Kristina, Aina, and Razrina. So Masha calculated the variance and found it to be negative. Since variance should be positive, Masha suspected that she forgot to square one of the data while calculating the sum of the squares of the messes. So for this question, first you have to find the mean. If you find the mean, you will get 34.94. Okay, if you square all the data one by one, you will get this value. So this is Sofia's, Zayana, Kristina, Aina, and Razrina. So if you use variance formula, it's equals to sigma fx square over sigma f minus mean square equals to this number. You bring over this value. So when you bring over negative, you get a positive. So you got to square 34.94 square, and then minus this value, you'll get around 4,000 something ish. Okay, looking at your sigmas, the square of each data, this value is definitely cannot be counted towards this, because if you add all everything, you should get 4,000. But because this value is already like more than 4,000, so we should expect that she forgot to square Zayana's mess. So now if you add everything, you plus this, and this, you'll get 4002.9. And then if you add Zayana's mess without squaring the number, you get exactly the same as this number. So in conclusion, she forgot to square Zayana's mess. So you get 4 marks when you, the first mark comes from here if you find the mean. And then the second, if you list everything here, I'll give you 1 mark there. And then making this conclusion that when you bring over, you get this number, and then you adding this number, so you get 1 mark from anywhere from this, so you get 1 mark, and the final answer will be Zayana's mass will be 1 mark. So 4 marks altogether. Okay, question number 23. This is under permutations and combinations chapter. You got to form different triangles by connecting 3 of the 9 points. So there are 2 cases. The case 1, when you have 1 point above and 2 points below, or you could have 2 points above and 1 point below. So first, if you have 3 points above, you're going to choose 1, so you write 3c1, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points below, and then you got to choose 2, so you have to times 3c1 times 6c2. So for that combination, you will have 45 different combinations of triangles. And if you do the other one, if you got 2 points above and 1 point below, and then you got to choose 3, you got 3 points, choose 2, and then from all the 6 points, choose 1, you get 18. So if you add both, you get 63 different triangles. So the 4 marks come from here. If you find 45, you get 1 mark. If you find 18, you get another mark. If you add both number, you get 1 mark, and then the final answer will be 1 mark. Okay, the second last question, question number 24. First, if you change 2 square becomes 4, and then you have to change 5 square becomes 25. And then you have to use the law of indices. When you have minus, you divide. So you have 4 power x times 5 power x over 5, and then 8 power x times 25 power x. Because these two, they have x, you bring over, the other side you divide. And because every term has x, so you're going to pull your x out. And then you can simplify this term. When you simplify, 8 divided by 4 gives you 2. 25 divided by 5 gives you 5. 5 times 2 gives you 10. So the question asks you to find 10 power x. So this one will be 10 power x. So the answer will be 1 over 5. And for the second part is simply whatever number over 5, log base 5 will be cancelled off, so the answer will be 7. So you get 4 marks. If you write this, you get 1 mark. If you factorize, you get 1 mark. The final answer will be 1 mark. And this is also 1 mark question, 1 mark answer. Finally, this is the last question, which is question 25. First, you're going to find the f function. So if you find using shortcut, if you have fx, so you're going to think in your mind that you got x
bring over 3, you got 3x. And then bring over 1, you got plus 1. Bring over 2 to the other side, so divide by 2. So this is f function. Now using f gx, you're going to substitute gx equals to ax squared plus b into your f. So you got that term. And then comparing with the one given to you, which is 6x squared minus 2. So the x squared coordinate, the x squared component will be compared with this one. And this one will be the number with the x squared. So by comparing the two terms, this and this and this and this, you get a equals to 4. And the b equals to negative 5 over 3. So the 4 marks come from there. If you find your f function, you get 1 mark. If you substitute in your fgx, you find your own version of fgx, you get 1 mark. The final answer of your A, 1 mark, and the final answer of your B will be 1 mark. So all 4 marks together.